In today's video, I'm reviewing a 2015 Volkswagen Golf GTI. The GTI is a sport-focused variant of Volkswagen's popular Golf model. The Golf began production starting in 1974 and is now in its 7th generation. This 2016 is part of that 7th generation model, with sales in the US beginning in 2015. I'm a huge fan of the exterior styling on the Volkswagen Golf and GTI models, and the 7th generation model in particular is a really nice update. In general, if you look back on prior generations of the Golf and GTI, the progression from one generation to the next is very subtle. They don't make real drastic changes from one generation to the next, but with that, they really maintain the overall classic look of the vehicle, but still continue to give it a more modern, updated look with each generation. And I like what they did going from the 6th to 7th generation model. It's got slightly sharper edges and just a more modern upscale look. It's worth noting that this specific GTI has been heavily modified, so there are a number of differences with this vehicle that set it apart from just the stock configuration. Personally, I'm a huge fan of keeping vehicles in their stock form, but the GTI is a very popular vehicle to make modifications to, and there's definitely a huge market for aftermarket parts. You'll notice that it's got aftermarket decals. We've got stripes on this front fender, as well as on the lower door panels. You'll notice that we've got some aftermarket mud flaps on the front and rear of the vehicle. Over the windows, we've got wind deflectors. And then up top, we've got OEM crossbars and a Yakima fairing. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, the Volkswagen logo has been blacked out. We've got some decals throughout the vehicle. So we've got this Rev decal, and then it's got aftermarket exhaust. Gives the vehicle a much louder exhaust note. That's again one of those areas where I prefer to keep it stock, but with this modified exhaust, it does create a lot more noise, which some people prefer. You'll notice that the antenna up top has been blacked out as well, giving it a little contrast. And then up front, we've got another Rev decal and a revised front fairing on that lower bumper. If you ignore all of those additions, comparing the GTI to the standard Golf model, a few of the changes that you'll note: it's got a revised front grille with this honeycomb design and that red stripe. It's also got a revised front bumper, kind of matches that front grille. GTI comes with a set of 18-inch wheels. A few different wheel options, but this is the most popular for this year and kind of generation. You'll see that we've got the GTI badging on the front door. And then of course we've got the dual exhaust on the rear. Otherwise, the GTI, from a styling standpoint, is identical to the Golf model. And it is a great looking vehicle. One of the details I really like about the 7th generation is the revised tail lights. It's just got a nice clean image to it, nice sharp edges. And then the actual lights themselves have a nice look to them. One design detail that I really like about the 7th generation model GTI as well is this rear panel. It's got a little bit of an R8 look to it to me. It's kind of like you got a little wing. And I have seen some GTIs where people do choose to highlight that in a different color. But it's just got a nice aggressive look to it. And then the other main change that you'll note from the 6th to 7th generation model is this revised front end. Again, it has a sharper look than what you had in the 6th generation model. Overall, really great vehicle. And within this class of vehicles, you look at some of the other competition, the Mazda Speed 3, you've got the WRX, we've got the Mitsubishi Evo, which isn't built anymore, but definitely a competitor. You've got Ford Focus RS, One thing I really like about the GTI is that it's a really classy vehicle, and it's just got a really nice overall quality build inside and out, something that you don't necessarily see in some of those other models. Of course, that's the result of it being a German vehicle and sharing a lot in common with its Audi counterparts. So a real great looking vehicle, a lot of fun to drive as well. Where the GTI really stands out within the segment is on the interior. It's got a really nice high quality interior with a great overall design, high quality materials, nice accent colors, and it's just a really cool overall look. You'll see that we've got the plaid seats on this model. These are included on the base models of the GTI. The higher end models have leather seats. So if I were going to get a GTI, I would definitely go with the base model so you get these cool plaid seats. They're also very comfortable and supportive. You'll see that we've got nice support on the outer thighs and the seat back. Keeps you nice and snug in the vehicle when going around corners quickly. Steering wheel also has a really cool design to it. Leather wrapped with stainless steel accents and the red stitching. It's also got that flat bottom. And then you'll see that we've got controls for cruise control, audio and Bluetooth. And just overall really great look on the interior. Also got these black accent colors on the dash and center console, unique to the GTI model. See some additional leather and red stitching here for the shifter. This is an aftermarket shifter. Stock shifter does look really nice as well. More red stitching on the emergency brake, center console, and then likewise the seat's got some of that red stitching. Another really cool feature on the GTI is that it's got some accent lighting that gives the vehicle a really cool vibe when it's dark out. On the door panels, this little strip right here is a red LED. Likewise, we've got a red LED along the door sill. Those are on both the driver and passenger side. So it gives the vehicle a really cool ambiance. As far as options on the vehicle and standard features, we've got power windows, power door locks, power mirrors. There are also heated mirrors. See that right there. Partially power seat. Some of those stainless steel accents on the pedals as well on the GTI. Nice clean instrument cluster. In the center dash, we've got a nice large screen, duals for backup camera. And then we've got audio functions, so AM, FM radio, CD player, MP3 and Bluetooth connectivity with your phone for audio. You can also import contacts, save some of your favorites in the computer system and use the screen to access those. And then also the ability to control some other vehicle settings through this screen. You'll see we've got heated seats for the driver and front passenger, climate control, manual shifter in the middle here, and then this mode right here allows you to adjust the suspension and steering on the vehicle. So there's a default, sport, and comfort mode. And then this will turn off the traction control. Got a 12-volt outlet, 2 cup holders, emergency brake, and then inside this center console, we've got another 12-volt outlet. Up top, we've got a manual dimming mirror, some reading lights, sunglass compartment, and then if you subscribe to the service, you can get roadside assistance through the vehicle. Overall, really nice interior. Definitely a leader within the segment. And then we'll jump around to the back where you'll see we've got a really nice spacious rear seat. So the same accent materials throughout. Also worth noting that Volkswagens in general have really great stock audio systems. So this vehicle's got a really nice stereo. Center folding armrest here in the middle with cup holders. And then we've got this pass-through that's built in. This can be used to get skis through the middle, 2x4s, other long objects, and you still have the use of those outer seats. And then of course, if you need to, you can also fold down the seats in a 60-40 split, increasing that rear cargo area. One thing I wanted to note is that I've actually got a Volkswagen e-Golf, which is the same vehicle but all electric, and this rear seat is surprisingly spacious. We've got an Audi Q5 and a Toyota Tacoma, and our car seat fits better in this vehicle than either of those. So despite the small size, it's actually very functional. Got vents for the rear passengers, getting a lot of air into the back. And then a view up to the front. And then coming around to the back, this is a cool feature on the GTI. So the Volkswagen logo duals as a handle, and this also pops up and the backup camera's inside. So you can keep a really clean image on that camera. It's just kind of a cool feature. And you'll see it's a fairly small cargo area, but it's not all that bad for a vehicle of this size. Definitely big enough that you could go on a weekend trip and have plenty of space for cargo for you and your passengers. See, we've also got another 12-volt outlet in the back here. And then again, that ability to drop down these seats in that 60-40 split means that you get quite a bit of cargo space once those are laid down. Looks like we need to fold down that, or move up that front seat before that one will lower down. But you can see pretty spacious with those seats down. The Golf and GTI models are both front-wheel drive, but they also have the Golf R model, which is a further enhanced sport variant of the Golf, available in all-wheel drive. The GTI has a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 220 horsepower, paired to either a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission. The EPA rating is 25 miles per gallon in the city and 33 to 34 miles per gallon on the highway, and the 0 to 60 time is 5.8 seconds. Now this GTI is going to be a little bit louder than what you get in a stock GTI because of that modified exhaust, but one of the really great things about the GTI is that it's a sport-focused vehicle, definitely intended for the motoring enthusiast. It's a lot of fun to drive, it's very quick, it's fast around the corners, but when you just want to go on a road trip or you want to drive to work in the morning and just relax a little bit, it's very smooth, it's very quiet, it's very comfortable, and it really is a vehicle that does all things well. So we can't test a GTI without doing a quick run on the highway, so we're going to pull on real quick here. Love that sound of the exhaust when you're accelerating on the highway. Not a huge fan overall, but in this instance, definitely fun. Now we only got up to 4th gear there. We're already up to 70 and the speed limit's 45, so we better stop at that, but you can see it was very quick. Now I mentioned earlier that we've got a Volkswagen e-Golf, and I specifically bought that vehicle because it's electric. I don't think under any other circumstance that I would have bought myself a Golf had it not been that they didn't make the vehicle an electric model. But because there's so many other weird and funky electrics on the market, or really expensive if you want to go for a Tesla, the e-Golf caught my eye as a really good option because it looked very nice, it offered the benefits of an electric vehicle, and it was fairly affordable. And so I started shopping the e-Golf, and I've got to admit that when I began that search, I was very tempted to just buy a GTI instead, completely abandon the idea of getting an electric vehicle, because the GTI offers so many nice benefits that you don't get with the e-Golf. The interior's got a way nicer level of refinement. I love the sport steering wheel, I love the plaid seats, I love the red accent colors that you get on the cabin. Just some really fun little details that set the GTI apart that you don't get with the e-Golf. I ended up buying the e-Golf anyway, and I've loved that vehicle as well. Just like the GTI, it's a very high quality vehicle, a lot of really nice attributes about it. It's a lot of fun to drive around corners, great suspension, it's very quiet, comfortable, smooth. And Volkswagens just in general, despite the reputation they get for not being the most reliable vehicles, the build quality is excellent. You just, on the interior, they've got a much higher quality feel than what you get from anything else within this price segment. I'm a huge fan of the Volkswagen lineup, and I think the GTI is a really great option. So that's a review of the 2016 Volkswagen Golf GTI, a very nice vehicle and definitely a class leader within the segment. If you're looking to get into a small, affordable sports car, the GTI is definitely an option worth consideration. There are a number of other vehicles within this segment that are also a lot of fun to drive, but I don't think any of them give you the same level of refinement that you get with the GTI. With the GTI, you get a vehicle that is very performance oriented, a lot of fun to drive, but it's also very quiet, very smooth, very comfortable, and a great all-around day-to-day driver. If you have any comments or questions on the GTI, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching.